walks on his body, and he is probably the emperor, and he is very much interested in this huge man. This is on the next page. The problem with this book is that the paragraphs are too long. Chapters are short, but the paragraphs are too long. I cannot tell you which paragraph I am, but it is probably, yes, the same paragraph, because this paragraph is about 3 pages long. It's the same paragraph. I answered, on the next page, of course, I answered in a few words, but in the most submissive manner, lifting up my hand and my left hand, and both my eyes to the sun, and as calling him for a witness. And being almost famished with hunger, not having eaten a morsel for some hours before I left the ship, I found the demands of nature so strong upon me that I could not forbear showing my impatience, perhaps against the strict rules of decency, by putting my finger frequently on my mouth to signify that I wanted food. So, when the emperor comes, he notices that he's an important person and the other people will listen to his words. He indicates that he's hungry, and by making the gesture that trying to put food into his mouth, he tries to tell him that he's hungry and he wants food. He descended from the stage, commanded that several ladders should be applied to my sides, on which above 100 inhabitants mounted and walked towards my mouth, laden with baskets full of meat, which I had been provided, and sent thither by the king's orders upon the first intelligence he received of me. I observed there was the flesh of several animals, but could not distinguish them by the taste. There were shoulders, legs, loins, shaped like those of mutton, and very well dressed, but smaller than the wings of a lark. So he eats so much meat because they bring him large baskets full of meal, and he swallows them a big amount of food, which is enough for maybe 10 or 15 Lilliputians, and he eats in one swallow. They supplied me as they could, showing 1,000 marks of wonder and astonishment at my bulk and appetite. I then made another sign that I wanted drink, because he has eaten a lot, so he's thirsty and he wants to drink something. They found by my eating that a small quantity wouldn't suffice, so they noticed that a small amount of drink would not satisfy him, so they tried to bring him as much drink as possible. I'm trying to find. Okay, suffice. And being a most ingenious people, they slung up with great dexterity one of their largest hogsheads, then rolled it towards my hand and beat out the top. I drank it off at a draught, which I might well do, for I did not hold half a pint, and tasted like a small wine of Burgundy, but much more delicious. When I had performed these wonders, they shouted for joy and danced upon my breast, repeating several times, as they did at first, Hekina de Ghoul! They made me a sign that I should throw down the 2 hogsheads, but first warning the people below to stand out of the way, crying, Borak mi vola! And when they saw the vessels in the air, there was a universal shout of Hekina de Ghoul! So, Borak Mivola might mean, get away, clear the way, because he's throwing down the big hogsheads. Okay. After some time, further in the same paragraph on the next page, after some time, when they observed that I made no more demands for meat, there appeared before me a person of high rank from His Imperial Majesty, His Excellency, having mounted on the small of my right leg, advanced towards up to my face with about a dozen of his retinue, and producing his credentials under the signet royal, which he applied close to my eyes, spoke about 10 minutes without any signs of anger, but with a kind of determinate resolution, often pointing forwards, which, as I afterwards found, was towards the capital city. Okay, so they carry him to the capital city where the emperor also lives. Okay. Now, I will. This is the end of the first chapter, and I will. Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. This is the end of the first chapter. I will continue the second chapter in the second session.